So today we will talk about modal verbs, how modal verbs can be utilized, how they are important, and how they are different from the normal verbs. Do you know what are modal verbs? Okay. So exact pronunciation, as many teachers, many people they do for modal verb actually it is, they do modal. So that is a wrong pronunciation. How do we pronunciate it? We pronunciate it as modal verbs, modal. Ow sound would be there, modal verb. Okay, so that's different from the model that we see on the ramp. Okay, here modal verb is like a helping verb. Okay, its main usage happens like the same as that of the other helping verbs, like is, am, are, was, were. Like, let me just write it over there. Yeah, is, am, are, was, were. Okay, their use is the same as that those helping verbs. Okay, like the way we say is will be used with the singular, am will be used with I, are will be used with the plural, was will be used with the singular subject, and were will be with the plural, but depending upon the tense. Okay, same way, the modal verbs are also the helping verbs. They are also the helping verbs. They're assisting verbs, auxiliary verbs of a different kind. How they are used, like they are that type of verb that is used to indicate modality. Okay, that is used to tell like what does modality means. Now you got to know what is modality. Modality means it is likelihood. That means something will happen like that. Okay, likelihood to happen, or certainly to happen, or possibility of something to happen. Okay, if something's possibility, something's ability or permission or obligation is to be expressed, we use modal verb. Modality means that. Okay, what is modality? Modality, that is like likelihood. Likelihood means like it will definitely uh, possible to happen. Possibility, ability, permission, and obligation. If we see these four things to express in the sentence, we do not use is, am, are, then. Or do we? We do not use is, am, are, then. We use only and only like these modal verbs. Okay, remember that. We always use the modal verbs to express the modality. Okay. Now the first one that comes is can. What is can? Can is usually expressing, it is usually express the ability of somebody. Okay, it expresses the ability, and it is also used for requesting someone or asking for the permission of somebody. Okay, like can I use your washroom, can I bring my notebook, can I go for this? But when we are actually politely requesting, we use something else. We use may. But in case of normal request, it's informal request, then we can use can for requesting somebody. Okay. And to express ability, like for example, if I have to say, um, I can run farther, that means that's my ability to run farther than that. That's my ability. That's the ability of that person who has like said the statement, or even if I have said the statement, if I say that I can run, I can run farther. Okay, farther, that means like farther than the previous limit. I can go further than that. Okay, farther, that means far away. I can move, like I can run more than that. That means to say, okay, can I close this door? Can I close this door? A little bit of authoritative tone, but still it is a request. Okay, when you are asking for a permission, we use can. Okay, generally, generally, when we are actually expressing the ability and the permission, we have to use can. Okay, wherever you see like there is some sort of ability is to be expressed, as well as you have to ask somebody a permission, like for example, can I go to the principal? Like suppose you're asking your friend, can you please give me your pencil. Okay, then there are different ways of requesting, but somehow can's usage can be for two categories. It can be more than that, but basically what you have to remember is you have to remember only one thing, that is ability and permission. These two things are to be kept in mind. Thing is, so just wait. Let me erase this. Then comes could. Then comes could. What is could? Could is the past form of like can. So if it is the past form of can, what's the next thing? Obviously, it will be used for ability, but ability to be expressed in the past. Okay. Or it can be used to make a polite request even in the present. Okay. Even in the present. But here, modality is different. Here we are requesting in a very polite way. So I told you, no, like when we say can, there is a little bit of authoritative tone. But when we use could, there is more of the polite request. Okay, more of the polite request, and we can use may as well for that. Okay, so when we politely request somebody, we should see that I should use what could. Could you please? And there used to be um, uh, please added with could when we are actually having some sort of like politeness in our tone or humbleness in our words. Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So to express past ability, okay, like for example, the example written here is I could walk very fast when I was 20 years old. If it is not written like this also, if it is not written, even then it is right sentence. It's not mandatory that we have to express that I'm talking about the past, but simply when we write I could walk very fast, here the person who hears this statement should intend to understand that the person means to say that in the earlier time only he could fast, but now he is unable to do that. In the present time, he doesn't carry that same ability, but in the past, the person was able to do that. And there are lots of things that in a life we were able to do in the past, but now it is not. Okay, like for example, I could get up early in the morning at 3:30 in my adolescent age. Uh, Somehow it is possible now also, but because of the work schedule being busy, throughout the night also I try to prepare the notes for something. If I say, then I need to say that I used to be busy for that. I'd be busy for that. So that is why I have to use different one. Here I'm saying I could walk very fast. I could walk very fast means somebody had the ability to go fast, okay, in the past time, not nowadays, not in the present moment, but in the past time. That is why they, to elaborate with the proper example, they wrote that when I was 20 years old. That means after the adolescent age and during that period itself. Okay, so I could walk very fast when I was 20 years old. So it's quite clear. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Now, next example is like, could you give me that book, please? Could you give me that book, please? Now, remember that one. Whenever we use could and the combination with please, please is not to be written always with uh, could, but somewhere else in the sentence you can place it so that to express the politeness in your tone. Okay, so could plus please always come together to make can to be a polite modal verb. Like, could you give me that book, please? That means somebody is trying to refer to someone that I want that book. Like, could you please give me that book? Like, do you have that ability? In a sense, we know that it's more of the ability of somebody to help you out, but still you are requesting someone, so that is why we use it like that. Okay, now one thing more, like I would like to add into that, like you should remember that whenever we are using the basic form of the modal verb, means to say that we are simply trying to say uh, could is used, can is used, With them, always verbs, the first form will come as a main verb. Okay. That is, present form of verb will be always used as a main verb. But in case there is could plus be, okay, or can plus be, and that means to say passive voice, we're trying to express by the passive voice, we use verbs the third form with that. That means past participle will be used in that case. Understood? Yeah. With the help of example, I'll be letting you know. Like, um, for example, if I say I can, I can do this. If I say I can do this or I can do it, then what I would write in the passive voice, it can be. What would be the third one? Like third word, for fourth word, sorry, done by me. So that is why there we converted that into third form because of the availability of be in that. Okay, so obviously we are writing in the passive voice, we have to place third form there. In the passive voice, we always use third form. Now the third one is may. Okay, what is that? May. It's not the name of the month, it's may, the modal verb, which express the modality of possibility. Okay, possibility and also to request permission. Here we do not need or require please. May I go to drink some water? We simply have to be. May I please go to drink some water? It doesn't look like that nice. Here also it is written, may I stand up please? May I stand up please? It's not required somehow. Please is not required. Simply you can write, may I stand up? Okay. May you please stand up? Somebody says like that, like a teacher you say, may you please stand up? Okay. May you please stand up? It's your choice in that case whether to apply please. Okay. May you stand up? And then it's all like the please is a word which expresses politeness. It's an added politeness. It's not wrong to add it, but we should actually see that how to create a difference between could and may. Okay, but that means could plus please and may plus please are one and the same thing. Remember that. Okay, that means whenever we are using them, we should understand this. Like could plus please and may plus please are one and the same thing. But more of the concern of may and can be referred to as, like, can will be used for the ability, may will be used for the possibility. Okay, may will be used for the possibility. Possibility means plausibility of something to happen, chances of something to happen. For that one, we can say that I may be home early. If I say I may be home early, okay. If I say I may be home early, what does it stand for? That means there is a possibility of me to be at home early. So in that case, if the possibility is strong, okay, if the strong possibility is there, then I will use may. Okay. But if the possibility is weak, then I will use may's opposite, that is might. Okay. What is the difference between I may be home early and I might be home early? That means like might would be used in the case when when like the possibility is quite weak, the chances of you to be at home are weak, then you can say that I might be home early. Instead of that one, if it is I may be home early, so may has, strong possibility. In case of strong possibility, you will use may. In case of weak possibility, you will use might. We'll see that. We'll see that. Okay. Now I think examples are enough for that. Just wait. Might. Now might is along with may. We'll understand that. To express possibility. Like when we have to express the possibility, we say, uh, I told you, same use is there for may and might. But the thing is, obviously, possibility is strong in the case of may, possibility is weak in the case of might. Okay, now you see that if I say I might go to Africa next year. So obviously next year who have seen next year? Nobody has seen the next year, no, it's future. It's a future. So possibility is quite weak. It's not sure. Like somebody can indulge in some other work, somebody can be busy in some other activity. So if somebody would be busy in other activity, okay, then obviously the possibility of the thing which is written here or which is spoken also is very weak. So if the possibility is weak, we will use might, and if the possibility is strong, what we will use? Sanchita, what we will use? May. Very good. So then thereafter, if you say might, might I ask you a question? Might I ask you a question? Here, remember one more thing, like where we use. If you remember the direct and indirect speech, we try to use might in case we want to change the tense to the alternate tense, or what we say corresponding tense. Corresponding tense, that means tense of the present to the tense of the past. In such case, might I ask you a question? Okay, in that case, for the request also we will use might. That is another use. Okay, that is a different use, let me tell you. But what I'm trying to tell you is might is used to show the farness also. Sorry, not farness. I mean to say that if you change the tense, if you change the tense of the direct speech to the indirect speech, that is another use. This use is different. It is to ask for the permission. Might I ask you a question? So they say that, might I ask you a question? So might I ask you a question? Nobody actually asks a question like that, but still it is possible to ask a question by this way. Next is will. What is will used for? Will is used for uh, talking about future. We know that. Where do we use will? Okay. We use will to talk about future, to say what you believe will happen. What to believe will happen. To say what to believe will happen. It means to say that, like for example, if you talk about a future thing to happen, I will call her later. I will call her later. We know that first person pronoun takes shall. Okay. First person pronoun takes shall. But here the person has written will. That means the meaning is different in this sentence. Okay. The meaning been um, has been taken into like in other way. The meaning has been different. How it is different? I will call her later. It has some other meaning. What does it stand for? Like somebody, said something with a determination. I will call her later. That means definitely the person is going to call somebody later on. So in case of determination, we use will also with the first person pronoun. Okay, when we are determined to do something, so they will come tomorrow. If I say they will come tomorrow, if I say they will come tomorrow, then here also there is a certain sort of determination, but we know one more use, that with the third person pronoun and the second person pronoun we have to use will. Okay, and to talk about the future, that means tomorrow obviously, that is day after, like this day after this day. So definitely it is in the future, no? So for future we always use will. Okay, and will and shall both are the modal verbs. Okay, we should remember that. And they will also take verbs first form. Okay, that is present form of verb. Okay, now what we are going to do next is would. Would is used to ask for the request and the offer most of the time. Would you please, would you please get aside? We say, would you please get aside? If somebody comes in your way, you can say the person in a requestive tone. Would you please get aside, or would you get aside, please? Okay, simply you can say, to ask for a request and to talk about the past. To talk about the past means like what you had the habit of doing. Like we used to know. I used to we say, like somebody asks you that what was your habit in the childhood, then you can say that I used to play cricket, I used to. Instead of using used to, you can use would. We would play cricket. I would go with my friends um, to the beach. Okay, and we do a lot of fun activities. Okay, and we used to, or we would play like what we say, volleyball. Okay, creating our own net over there, and we started playing, or we would start playing. We would start playing. That means we would start playing means we had the habit of doing so in the past. So to talk about the past, we can use would. And to ask for request, that means would you like to eat some food? That means would you like to, like mean would you like. Most of the time when it comes food to be asked for the, to be asking for the request, then we use like with that. Would you like to, or would you please, or would you please. These words actually add more humbleness to the word or to the sentence. So try to use more of the time whenever you actually want to be polite and quite down to earth personality. So would you please, or could you please, or something like may, may you please, or might you please. Okay, remember that. So we can use them in different senses. Remember that. And then comes shall, shall. Okay, we say shall. Okay, to express or to offer suggestion. Okay, and predicting the future. So, shall I give you this watch? Shall I give you this watch? Okay. In that case, I'm giving somebody a suggestion or an offer. Shall I give you this watch? That means, would you like to have this watch? Or if you are asking somebody in a requestive tone, you can say, would you like to have this watch? Okay. Or if I say, shall I give this watch? And you are asking, you're giving somebody an offer. Okay. And you're also using shall. We are also using shall to express the future. How is it? Next month he shall be in the United States. Next month he shall be in the United States. A little bit. I differ a little bit in this sense. Okay. Um, I differ a little bit in this sense because exactness says that here will come will. Okay. If I am writing I, then I can say I shall be in the United States. Next month I shall be in the United States. That is fine, but not he. He shall be in the United States. It's a little bit awkward to be used because as far as the convictions and the rules and everything is concerned, like all those things are concerned, accordingly that shall has to be used with the first person pronoun, and if it is predicting the future as well, it has to be used certainly with something. Okay, but nowadays one more method, let me tell you, that not to create any mistake or problem, to create any issue with that, you can simply write, like if you want to write um, like anything related to the future tense, you can simply write I, then there's abbreviation you can use I'll like that. It should be I'll I'll be in the United States, or he'll be in the United States. So in that case, abbreviated way is possible to be used, but it makes a sentence informal. That is also the concern, that it makes the sentence informal. If you are talking in a formal way, that's another thing, but here it means to say that you are using that for the future prediction. For the future prediction, okay, you can use shall. He shall be in the United States. uh, Somehow it's contradictory to the given rules, but anyways, next is should. Should is very important, let me tell you. Should is used to give advice, okay, some suggestion, okay, but the suggestion in the like in the advice form, advised way, advisable way. When somebody gives the advice, person use should to show what is right and appropriate. Okay, to show what is right and appropriate, they are trying to create the modality by themselves itself. But if one thing that you need to remind you about is like that is only one thing, that is it is used for the suggestion. We use it for suggestion. You getting it, beta?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it is more of the time used for suggestion, and to give advice. Like, what's the difference between should and must? Because both are for suggestion only, and one is in the different tone, and other is in the different tone. Like when we talk about our mother tongue, we use it for this word. Okay, you know what is that?
The difference.
Difference between should and must. I told you. Like when,
Should,
yeah, yeah. What is the difference, please?
should it is a normal suggestion, and must it is used to when
Obligatory.
we when it is obligated and it's very necessary.
Very necessary. Like that is the one. Okay, normal. That means normally when we try to guide someone, no, I think you should go. I think you should go home now. Okay, we are giving a suggestion to somebody. If somebody is willing to follow, that is up to the person. That is up to the person. In that case, it is up to the person that whether to follow that suggestion or not. That is up to the person. Like, but generally to give advice, we use it. You should go to the doctor. Somebody is trying to give a suggestion in a sense that somebody should follow to reach to the doctor. Okay. They should have been more joyful. They should have been more joyful. Or you should go to the doctor. One and the same thing is they should have been more joyful. Like, show what is right. They should have been more joyful. Here you're trying to say that they could have expressed more joy. That means they should have been more joyful. Okay. That means you're trying to show somebody what is right. So for that, but here it is different. Here it is different. How it is used? Like if I say should plus verbs of first form, okay, that shows normal suggestion, but should have been. Here you see should plus have plus verbs of third form. Here combination is different. The modal verbs, the combination is different. Modal verbs combination is different. Like should plus have, and that is for the past one. Should have means like somebody like would should have, that means karna chahiye tha. Okay, should have done, should have been more joyful. Like in that sense we can use that karna chahiye tha. Okay, that means in it's all advisive, but like advisive, like it also gives the advice, I mean to say. But how it is used, it's a little bit different structure. Should have, would have, could have, they always take past participle for with them. Okay, remember that. Should have been more joyful. Here they're trying to make a sense of the statement that uh, like what is right and what is appropriate, for that one it is used. Okay, remember that. Then it's not about actually knowing them, it's about using them. What I believe is like modal verbs can be remembered, and I can tell you all the times like should is used this way, shall is used this way. Main concern is whether you use it accordingly or not. So try to use them as much as possible. Then comes must. It is used to express obligation, to express strong belief. Okay, to express strong belief as well as to express what? Express the obligation. That, as you already said, that obligatory means something which is necessary, some without which it can't be like done, like it can't be like ignored. If we can't ignore something, for that, sorry, for that we can use it to express obligation, to express strong belief. Like you must go now. Go now, what does it stand for? You must go now. It is obligatory. So if it is obligatory, we can use must. You must go now. Like somebody is trying to uh, tell the necessary suggestion. It is also used for suggestion, but when it is quite necessary to do it. To express strong belief, it means to say that he must be 18 years old. Somebody has a belief. Somebody has made an estimation about someone else that he must be 18 years old. Like in that case, we can use must again. Okay, he must be 18 years old. Okay, so remember that one, that all these modal verbs, there is no, I think, further modal verb with that. I took the file from somewhere and I thought that I need to actually make you understand all that. Okay. Um, then rest thing is, I believe that you have understood the model. Did you understand the modal verbs?
Yes.
But there are other modal verbs as well, let me tell you. Other combinations like I told you, one of them came as example, should have plus third form, would have plus third form. Okay. You would have done that. He would have done that. We say that, no? कर लिया होता. Okay, कर लिया होता. किया नहीं. कर लेना चाहिए था. Should have done or should have done or would have done. Okay, would have completed. Complete कर लिया होता. In that case, we use would have or should have or had to. We also use in some other ways like had to. I had to. Like in the past tense, we say that I had to do that. I had to do that. That means something was obligatory to be done, like in the past. So for expressing that, you can use had to. Um, and something is obligatory in the present, you can use have to also. I have to, I have to go now. That means I can't stop here now. I have to go now. Okay, you have to go now. Have to have to has to. She has to. She has to come like from the faraway place to her job for the job purpose. She has to. Okay, she has to. That means it's very much necessary for her to do that thing. Has to. So it's like very obligatory, very necessary, and quite unavoidable. So that in that case we can use has to as well. Okay, so remember that these modal verbs are very much useful, okay, to be used in different categories of the sentences, and they also help you to express the variety of the knowledge, the grammatical aspect that you have within you. Okay, the grammar knowledge that actually also helps us to express the 25% of our, you know, mm, main uh, written main written aspect. That means out of those four skills, even in the IELTS exam, we try to get that 25% of the grammar, like we give the weightage to the grammar 25%. Okay, and what you need to understand by that is the grammar is also um, what we say, um, intrinsic part of learning English. Many people say that the grammar is not important when it comes to learning English or speaking English or something, but I believe that it's quite unavoidable and it is quite obligatory. So remember that without the grammar you can't express your knowledge properly. Okay, without grammar you can't express your knowledge properly. Accuracy, so one thing that comes with having the knowledge of grammar proper, like then that is accuracy. If you have the grammar concepts clear, like it's not like that difficult to um, do so. Many people actually on internet, on different websites, we have seen that they say that the grammar is not important. People are trying to actually make you anxiety, or what we say, they are making you worried without a purpose. But the thing is, all those people who say that grammar is not important, they have already learned and studied the grammar in their childhood. Okay, they have done each and every detail of the same in their childhood, but now just to actually maybe marketing, for the marketing purpose, or trying to actually show that there is, like, obviously there are chances where grammar is not important, but that is not writing. No, we can't actually expel other parts also for learning. What we have, that those, like, there are four skills, no: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. For speaking, if it is not important, the grammar is not important, then what about other three? Who will take care of the other three? So it's important that we need to understand and make students understand that listening, reading, writing, and speaking, all of them go hand in hand. Okay. If you are a good reader, if you are a good reader, you will have more chances to speak right sentences because you have seen it with an evidence that you have read something and then you are speaking it. Okay. If you don't have any evidence, how can you actually prove your statement right? Okay. And same way, vocab, lexical resource that comes with the obviously it's also with the reading. First thing is you read, and then you actually first thing is exactly the listening. You listen to the people more of the time. Okay, when you listen to the people, you try to find out like what is understood and what is not understood. And if something is not understood, you are trying to search it in the dictionary, search it somewhere, search it from the different sources. And the people say that do not do it. Do not do it. You need not to do anything. Okay, you need not to do the hard work to learn English. You need not to do this or that. Why so? Why they are stopping you to do so? Simply to come to their channel, come to their, sources, to reach to their sources only. Nothing else is their concern of their concern. They want that if something can be done, if something can be understood and the concepts can be understood within that amount of time as they mention, then I believe that everyone is every one of those lexicographers, those grammar writers or whatever people have done something with English, they were fools. Why did they do that? Obviously, uh, with the patience and with the spending more time in the English, you can actually speak English better. I don't believe that like those notions. I would change my notions of learning just because nowadays the people come like who are coming online and they are speaking about this or that. I have 18 years of experience. I have never seen that like the grammar is important in any case. I believe that the grammar was quite important. Like all those words which I have learned in my childhood, how can those not be important? So after learning themselves, they say that it is not important. I don't believe in such false notions. I believe that you should also actually go by that. Like every time, whenever you read grammar, your teacher teaches you grammar in school also. All these things are important. Okay, try to actually grasp. Like one thing which is very important, let me tell you. Suppose something is not in the school, try to just rehearse it at home. The main thing is that. Nothing else is important. Whatever teacher teaches you, try to find out sources for that because you are a child, you are a student, then obviously your duty is to study. Nothing else is to be done on your part now. So one thing that you should do is like suppose your teacher has started teaching you something which is quite what we say abstract to your senses, which is unknown to your senses. But when you will search it out on different sources which are available to you now, then definitely you can grasp more knowledge about it and you can speak more about it. The idea is to have maximum information about it and try to sort it out what is right and what is wrong information. Okay. Otherwise, there would be lots of teachers who would say this or that. I don't actually um, make guess out work or make estimations about whether the grammar is important or not. Everything is important in this world. That is why that exists. Something that exists on this planet is important. So we should give due importance to that. Okay. So try to understand language like this only. Okay. So I believe that model verbs are clear to you. And for those who will watch this in the video form, I'm trying to tell you that make your perception in the right way. Everything is important, but within the right age you should go with that. Like those students who have started learning English from their childhood itself, like from the third standard, fourth standard, whatever standard, they should know that grammar is important. If they will hear the same notion from those people who say that grammar is not important, they will stop understanding grammar. They will not focus on the grammar. Okay, so grammar is important, and if you have the concepts clear during your childhood, I don't believe that you require any teacher for understanding grammar. Okay, you can search it on your own. I think the main thing that the teacher can teach you is to become independent. That's what I want you to be. Okay, you need to be independent. You need not to depend upon teachers thereafter to find information. If you know that there are different sources, if you know that the grammar can be understood by this way or that way, Why to actually look out for a teacher when you have already understood by the teachers during your childhood? I'm talking about your grown-up age. When you are adult, then you can actually search out information on your own way, in your own way, sorry. Um, so this is it for this lesson.